what I did today with my daughter in homeschool on March 23rd. So like usual, we started with our daily calendar. She used her sentences for each one. We're struggling a little bit with weather right now. She insists that because it's officially spring that it's warm out, and I really had to make her understand by looking outside. Like you could see there's like snow outside. So I showed her the snow and I said, look, Leila, when there's snow, it's still cold. So we're really working with season changes and temperature changes. So helping her understand that although it is officially spring, but sometimes it's still cold in the spring too. So we really focused a little bit more on the season and weather today. So we did that as usual. I ask her how she's feeling and she tells me that in a sentence too. Daily work binder, ordering days of the week and months of the year, following along the YouTube video. And then she points to what month we're at, what day we're on. And then we're finishing up our counting to 6 math sheet. So like usual, she fills it in. Today she counted bears. That's what I had for her to do today. It still goes with our animal theme, and she just had to count 6 and show me on the 10 frame 6 bears. And then our language worksheet today. We're approaching the end of lesson 1 from the Spectrum series spelling workbook. So the workbooks go by lessons. Lesson 1 is actually pretty short. There isn't that many pages. So today she worked on practicing writing upper and lowercase k. She did pretty good. Just got to work on like spacing and things like that. And then the activity was color the kites with capital K orange and color kites with lowercase k blue. And she did that. We didn't do the other side today. I just felt like it was a lot. So as you can see, we're moving on to lesson 2, either tomorrow or next week. And then for our math worksheet today, this was a cut and paste activity. She cut out the numbers from the number strip, and we were counting zebras. So she had to count the zebras and then paste the number for each one. Okay, and that was our daily work for today. Then our review work for today, for language, it was CVC spelling. So I found these CVC cards on Teachers Pay Teachers. I printed and laminated them so they're dry erase and wipeable. I put one in front of her at a time. And then I ask her, what is it? And she'll say net. So I said, okay, let's spell it. And I have to sound out the word for her. And then she writes each sound. So I'll say, n, and she'll write n, eh, and she'll write E, t, she'll write T. And then we read it together, net, net. And then we're working on middle sounds right now. So I always ask her to circle the middle sound. And she does that. Same thing with the other ones, one at a time. T, b, tub, and then circle the middle sound. I think she actually did an O there. I must have not noticed, so we'll have to go back and work on that one. J, I sound it out, she spells it, and then circle the middle sound. And then that's what we did for spelling today. And then for math review, we worked on shapes. So again, these shape cards are from Teachers Pay Teachers. I laminated them, put some Velcro here at the bottom. And then I have here the matching word cards. So I'll put them out in front of her just like that, but then these will not be in order. I'll just hand these to her in a pile, or I'll put them in front of her, but they're not in the same order. So then she just has to match it. So rectangle, oval, triangle, circle, and square. Now with oval and circle, she can read those on her own because I've taught her like oval starts with an O and an O looks like an oval, and circle starts with this and a C kind of looks like a circle. So she knows how to read those two just because, you know, it kind of goes with the shape. This one I just have to tell her, look, triangle, and because it starts with T, she knows. And then she still gets square and rectangle a little bit confused, which I don't blame her, but because of the beginning sound, she knows her beginning sound, so she's able to decipher. It's just when she's matching pictures like this that she tends to confuse the two. So then after she's matched the word to the shape cards, I have pictures of different objects of different shapes. So then she has to sort them. So a clock goes under circle, and she's pretty good with the circle and the ovals, right? Triangle, sometimes she struggles with triangle. This one she actually got, which is really good. I didn't know if she would. Like this one, she had put it, I think, with square or something, and then I had to prompt her. So pizza slice is triangle, and then she knew swimming pool is the oval. She got that one. Okay, and then window square. So this is the one where sometimes she gets confused. So she was going to put it with square, and then I had to prompt her that it's longer, like it's longer than the square, so it's rectangle. Same thing with the phone. She was going to put it with square. I just showed her it's longer, so it's a rectangle. Rug was oval, and she got that, and the cheese was square. Okay, and so that's what we did for our shape review today, sorting and matching shapes. For our theme unit today, we had a pretty fun one. We did Play-Doh animals. So our theme this month is animals and habitats. So I brought out our little animal cards. They're here too. And we just picked a few, and I had sorted them out for her based on color. So like I made a yellow pile animals here, blue, and I just sorted like that into piles based on color. And then I just told her, you know, to pick, we picked random animals to make, and these are the ones we made. We made butterfly, lobster, starfish, turtle, and a pig. I have these mats here. So this is a mat, sky mat, ocean mat, and land mat. And then what I did was I just laid them down, and then as we picked the animals we were going to make, I made the animals. She was not interested in making Play-Doh animals today. Instead, she wanted to make Play-Doh shapes. She has them over there. She's playing with it, but she took them away. But these are the cutters she used, and she insisted on doing Play-Doh shapes today, I think because we did the shape cards. So she was in a shape mood. So she did Play-Doh shapes. And so that is fine with me. The fact that she wanted to do that, like that's totally fine with me, that she showed interest in doing shapes. So I went ahead and made the animal Play-Dohs. I tried to get her as involved as I could, so I had her pick the animal for me, like what animal should mommy make? And she would pick it for me, the card, and then I would make the animal. So I made this little pig. And then when I finished making the animal, I handed it to her and I said, Leila, where does the pig live? And she put it on the land mat. The pig lives on land. Then I made the lobster, the starfish, and the turtle. I actually had cutters. I was lucky to have cutters for those three here, Play-Doh cutters. So that's what I used. And then again, after I made each one, I handed to her, Leila, where does the lobster live? And she said, ocean. Where does the starfish live? Ocean. And I made the turtle, where does the turtle live? And she placed them, she sorted them based on where they go. Made the butterfly, she placed it on the sky mat. Okay, so that's how I got her involved in, even though she wasn't interested in making the Play-Doh animals, I made them, but I still had her involved in just placing them in the proper habitat where they live. Okay, so that was our themed activity for today, making Play-Doh animals. She chose to do Play-Doh shapes, which ties in with math, and that's fine with me. And then finally, like usual, our last activity of the day to end homeschool is always writing. So actually today we didn't do this last. We did it before Play-Doh because I knew Play-Doh was going to take a while. So we did it right before Play-Doh. So the word today was go. She types it in her iPad. Then she traces on the line, writes it on her own on the line, fills in the blank, and we read the sentence together. She has to point. Let's go swimming. The whale goes swimming. Find all the goes in the chart and circle them. And then she does her own. So like usual, I have it already written out for her to copy, but I always make it relevant to her first. So I ask her, Leila, do you like going to grandma's house? And that's what Vavo means. And she said yes. So I said, okay, let's write that. I like to go to my Vavo's house. And then she copied it and she wrote it herself. And then I pulled out, sometimes I pull up a picture on Google Images of what I want her to draw, because she has a hard time sometimes with certain things going by memory. So she drew a picture of her, and that's supposed to be my mom's house. Okay, and she drew the picture. And then like always, I have her circle the word in my sentence. So I said to her, can you find the word go in mommy's sentence? And she found it and she circled it. And that concluded our homeschool session today. So that's what we did. And she had a lot of fun. The Play-Doh was a big hit. Even though she didn't do Play-Doh animals, she chose to do shapes. But it's also really good for sensory. It's good for fine motor skills, especially my daughter. Like, I have here this roller, right? And I try to get her to roll out the Play-Doh when it's like this, like clumpy. I try to get her to roll it out because my daughter has a really hard time with applying pressure like this to roll it out and make it flat. So this is really good for sensory and even for fine motor. If you have a child who struggles with applying pressure, like with fine motor, anything like that, this is also good for that. And so that's what we did today. And yeah, it was fun.